Hello loyal Rover fans, it is a midweek late afternoon. The days are getting longer and it means I can slack off the last couple of hours of work if I get up and start 2 hours earlier, and then I can get stuff done on the car. So this is what I finished on Sunday. What I want to do next is just prep this area. Again, you'll know I don't want to get too much mess in here, so I won't bother cleaning off this weld or those plug welds along the bottom, but I do at least want this bit done, because then I can clean all this off, red oxide it, seam seal it, and then get ready to paint it again, and then the wing can go on top. So that's what I'm going to do. Doesn't that look good? So I've just cleaned that off with a grinder. You can see like the benefit of putting that bit behind. You can really sand quite hard, and if your surfaces are aligned, you can take that bead of weld off and, you know, near invisible repair, but you know that there's at least the thickness of this metal existing, because you've got that strip in behind that I've welded onto. So that's worked out really nicely. I've cleaned up the first inch or so here, because when the wing is on, I don't want to be dragging the grinder onto the wing and damaging that. I've just nipped off the top of this weld here, cleaned it all up, same with those, and the spot welds along the bottom. I was going to do seam sealer and bonder primer, but I've changed my mind because I forgot I still had some of this old Jotamastic Jotun 87 epoxy, marine epoxy, as in you paint oil rigs and the bottom of fishing trawlers with it. It's incredibly tough stuff, and it's brilliant for the underside of cars, because it just, you know, if it works on a boat, it'll work on this. So I'm going to paint this area and some of the wheel arch, not all of it. I fully accept, well, I won't be painting this lip here because I'll be welding onto it, but I can paint right back into here, and I can do a dusting along there, and then when I come to put the wing on, I'll just scrape away the excess. Just means as much of that is protected with epoxy and tough stuff as possible. And down here where I've got that drilling hole, I can make sure that as the water runs out of here down across this area, it doesn't rot out. Considering that's where the drain plug is, this doesn't have any particular special coating. That is just the original Rover grey undercoat and then blue, and this is kind of just oversprayed blue that got through the back of the wing under that gap there. So it's survived pretty well. It's no wonder it rotted out down here really. So enough chat, I'm going to mix the Jotun in a paint cup with the hardener. Found an old brush, I'm going to brush that on there, and the pot has about a half-life, sorry not half-life, but a pot life about half an hour. So I should be able to just paint a couple of other bits, knock it around to give it some protection. Paint is mixed and sits in the pot for 10 minutes for the catalyst to really get a hold of it before I bother painting it on. Just done another degrease and clean of that bit, and other areas I thought I could tosh a bit on when I got the paint out is in there. Just the lower part, the heat from welding the wing on shouldn't affect it. That bit of chassis rail there, which I've also cleaned off the underside, where are we, up there. So none of that is particularly rotten, it's just surface rust where the underseal had been scraped off. And there's a bit of a dent. All of that area I'll do when I do the floor. Same as the back side of the sill lip, I'll do once the wing is welded on. Then in the front, that bit there, you can see the penetration. I haven't put a grinder across that. That is just the penetration that was achieved by welding onto the front side. So it looks all nice and pretty, as pretty as welding that I do gets. You can see the pony brakes on this thing, like tiny solid disc with, well, twin pot, but not, you know, single opposed. So yeah, I could do some more braking, perhaps some more manly brakes when I finish this thing. I might also change the legs, the lower arms, the rack ends. That's the meaty diesel spring. A lot heavier this engine than even the 2.6 litre cast steel block just chuntering away while I wait for my paint to get ready. Done most of the bits I wanted to do. Well, in fact, no, I've done all of the bits I wanted to do, and I still have paint left over. I could waste it on the inner wing, but I think that those vertical faces don't really rust. It's more the well and the bottom corners. So I thought I would turn my attention to bits I fixed back there a while ago. Just key them up and tosh what's remaining in that pot on those bits, because they'll have to be done at some point. And it will just save throwing the paint away for no reason. It's pretty much an endless pot of paint, as it turns out. So I've just painted down there, and the return of that lip. Can't get to the other side because I buried it in rubbish, but I thought I would also do this bit and stick it in that seam there, because that is where these SD1s usually start rotting at the back. Water gets in that bit under the weather strip, then just rots out, whereas if I stuff that full of epoxy now, it will be alright. I'd forgotten what a decent job I'd done of that. That looks really nice. Clean it off, a bit more epoxy. Finally finished the pot of paint. Can't believe how far that went actually. And because it's quite cold today, even though I've put quite a lot of hardener in, I had more than half an hour before it started to get really thick and gloopy. So managed to do the whole of that inner wing, that front end of the sill, the back end of the wheel arch there and there, and that bit of the chassis rail. Then at the back of the car I did bottom of that wing and the inner lip of the boot, and also I did where I'd welded the rear lamp panel to the inner wings. That's about all I'm going to do tonight. It's proper dark, it's proper cold, which probably isn't helping the epoxy go off. It will go off eventually. It's not like I'm in a hurry for it. Yep, next time probably put that wing on, or I might start removing the other wing. Still haven't decided yet whether I'm going to put the two on at the same time or do one at a time. Also need to go around my dad's and get a new bonnet so I can gap it all nicely, and some new hinges or less rusty hinges. Right, I'm going in now. Bye. Normal intro. This is either the beginning, the middle, or towards the end of a video. I've no idea because I can't remember what I was doing last time. But what I am going to do today, jack the car up, push it outside, finish repairing the top of this wing so I can do grinding outside, continue chopping that one off, then I can continue on with the process of putting it all back together again. So that is what I shall do. I also have a new GoPro, ta-da, on a little stand, so I can record some more of the weldy stuff without having to balance my iPhone somewhere. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'll shut up now and start doing it. First thing I'm going to do is smash this piece of copper pipe flat, sand it off, probably chop a shorter section off, then I can use that to clamp onto the underside of the spot weld areas, weld through, and then linish it smooth. So there we have my little piece of copper hammered flat. I can now put that underneath anywhere I have a hole, weld down onto it. The weld, well, the copper will do two things. One is act as a heat soak, so rather than me trying to snot that up and these edges burning away, the heat will be transmitted into this and then dissipated to make it easier to weld the thin metal. And the second thing is that the steel wire from the welder shouldn't stick to the copper, so I should be able to just snap that off, and I should be left with a nice smooth underside with no sort of MIG wire hedgehogs underneath, and then I can grind smooth on the top, prime it all, and we will be golden. So that's what I'm going to do. It's going to be quite boring, laborious, repetitive. Ta-da! There you have it. Then unclip these bits. It's still hot, but that shows it's done its job. Nice weld on there. That was with the welder turned up higher than I intended, but it worked nevertheless. Cool. Right. So, by no means perfect, but we do now have a solid inner wing top for the wing to sit on and for me to weld down onto without risk of blowing massive holes. And if I can touch this with A without burning myself, or yeah, see, if you run your hands under there now, it is pretty smooth. And that's the whole point. You don't want hedgehogs of MIG wire, I'm sure you know what I mean, spiky bits, because they will just harbour rust. You can put as much paint on as you like and it will just develop into, let's see, that's what I don't want. Oh, come on. Can you see these bits of MIG wire? So that's a bit where I slotted it up and must have missed the copper. So they need to come off. Before I put the wing on, I'll run the sander along the underside of there, or even the top of the grinding disc, just to kiss it off nicely. It's getting surprisingly dark, so I'm going to move around to the other side of the cart. I'm not going to weld that on now. I'm going to move to the other side of the cart and continue what I was doing a while ago. No idea if I showed it in a video or not, but me breaking out spot welds, I might push the car back a bit and I can get the grinding tools around and chop that wing off. In a previous, well, I don't know whether it was a video or just me out here messing around by myself without the company of your fine selves, but anyway, I was freeing off spot welds all the way along the top there. Can't really remember how far I got, but I'm now going to chop around the wheel arch. It's a shame, this is the one that I thought I could save. I had cut the bottom off down there to do the sill, because I put a whole sill on this side, so I was always going to have to rebuild that bit. You can't see that, can you? Come on, trusty iPhone. Ah, oh, god damn it. Oh, I hate iPhones. All I want is my torch. Right, so that I'd already chopped off because I put a whole new sill on. I thought that wing could be saved. It did have some dents in it, so you know, no great loss, but I will have to chop out all of the bit down there which I fabricated. It's a bit of a shame, never mind. So I shall get doing that. Whew. I'd totally forgotten I'd rebuilt all of that. Look how good that is. It shows you that the zinc primer ain't the best at keeping the rust at bay. But it was quite a nice repair, quite pleased with that. That's the other one. But now the wing is off, it gives me an opportunity to fix all of that. This side I haven't blown through in too many places, which is good, so I won't have to do too much coppering really. In fact, you know, one there, and that's it. So yeah, if you're careful with the spot weld drill, you don't need to do too much prep. This wheel arch barrel or tub looks pretty good, better than the other side. Still won't know till I get that actual lip off, but so far so good. Just need to push the car out again, open that door, and then I can undo the 4 M6 bolts, I think they are. I hold the wing there, get the final bit off. So I shall do that now before we lose the light completely. We are getting there, but it is getting dark. So, as annoying as that is, I think it's going to have to wait for another day, unless I had the foresight to undo all those. Have I undone them already? Well, I've definitely undone the bottom one. I don't know. Basically, I can't get the car far enough forward to get the door open to get to the bolts. Neil pointed this out the other day, and I forgot about that. Oh well. Right, that's it for tonight, because it is dark. Reasonably successful. I've got that to grind off, that to weld up, that to fill in, that one to fill in, pick the wheel arch lip off. I don't think, touch wood, I'm going to have to do any repairs to this one, because I've already done all the bottom down there when I did the sill, and this just looks like crap that's built up. It's not actually rust, it's just dirt and shite that's dropped in there. So fingers crossed, it should be quite a good fast repair, and then both front wings can go on together, gapped perfectly with the bonnet. Then there's a lot of welds to clean up this side, some welds to do on the floor, that corner at the rear sill over there, and then I think we're pretty much ready for the body shop. Woohoo! Right, that is where the video ends. Goodbye.